Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we continue from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7. We are on chapter 15. Does anyone remember what we read yesterday?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we read about determination, that how if one is determined to not to be envious of anyone, he can naturally conquer anger. Envy is what is keeping us here in the material world. So we should make our goal and be determined to what we want to do. Towards like
Determination.
advancing in spiritual, advance.
Yeah, determination. Yeah, to advance
Hare
in
Krishna.
spiritual life. Yes, Hare Krishna.
I think the most lovely and very useful 4 points were that if you want to win over shok and moh, then you win it by spiritual knowledge. If you want to win pride, then you have to serve devotees. If you want to win over the obstacles on path of bhakti, then you have to keep quiet mourn. And the envy, you have to win by controlling your senses, indra tripti. I wrote it down.
Oh, very
And
good.
I had the practical experience yesterday, but I failed, yes. Obviously, it is very difficult. I was not able to keep quiet. So, but not controlling the senses, not the win over controlling the senses, but it was like that how sometimes in a group of friends, you just get into the flow of argument and you just speak. You're not quiet. I should have been quiet, but you're not. So yes, I'll pray harder, I'll chant harder, I'll do everything harder, but yeah, I failed. Yeah, definitely. But I prayed to Krishna that give me more. I hope I can reach to that thing, but at least better than before.
Very good. Very good. At least the consciousness is there. You wrote it down.
Yeah,
Now you're being conscious about these things,
yeah,
what you
I
want to
wrote it down.
improve on. And so already being conscious of what we need to improve is already like winning half the battle, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So very good. Very good. Very nice. And yeah, determination to do it. Very good. Okay. So text 25. Rajas tamascha satvena
Rajas
Rajastamascha
satvena
satvena
sattvam chopashamena cha
sattvam
sattvam chopashamena
samena cha
etat sarvam gurau bhaktya
etat
etat
sarvam
sarvam
guru
guru
bhaktya
bhaktya
purusho hi anjasa chayet.
purusho
purusho hi anjasa
jaye.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. One must conquer the modes of passion and ignorance by developing the mode of goodness. And then one must become detached from the mode of goodness by promoting oneself to the platform of Shuddha Sattva. All this can be done automatically. All this can be automatically done if one engages in the service of the spiritual master with faith and devotion. In this way, one can conquer the influence of the modes of nature. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also saying, Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado, Yasya prasadat nagati kutopi. By pleasing the spiritual master, the bona fide representative of Krishna, one can please Krishna. Here, Narad Muni saying, engage in the service of the spiritual master with faith. In this way, one can conquer the influence of the modes of nature. Just by treating the root cause of an ailment, one can conquer all bodily pains and sufferings. It's true, no? Like, you know, uh, we may try to cure the symptoms. Oh, that there is, some symptom is coming up every time. But till the time we don't cure the root of the disease, the symptoms will keep on coming. So, for example, like Ayurveda traditionally, it goes to cure the root. Why is the disease happening? What is the cause? So, similarly, one is devoted and faithful to the spiritual master. He can conquer the influence of Sattvagun, Rajogun, and Tamagun very easily. Anyone remember any example? How somebody actually in, followed the instructions of the spiritual master and he overcame the modes of Rajogun, Tamogun.
Is it Dhruv Maharaj? Because he was really angry and he followed the instructions of Narad Muni that, if you want, because he was in a different state of mind when he left the home, right? Is
Yeah,
it?
true. Yeah, true. Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, why not? I was thinking of the example of Mrigari, the hunter. He was completely in the mode of ignorance, Mrigari, torturing the animals, killing them. But he followed Narad Muni's instruction, and we can see there was such a change of his behavior that he didn't want to even kill an ant. How he overcame the modes. Okay, yogis and jnanis practice in many ways. I'm sorry, to conquer the senses, but the bhakta immediately attains the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the mercy of the spiritual master, Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasadam. If the spiritual master is favorably inclined, one naturally receives the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, one immediately becomes transcendental, conquering all the influences of Sattvagun, Rajogun, and Tamogun within this material world. So, receiving the mercy of the bona fide spiritual master. Sorry. Okay, receiving the mercy of the bona fide spiritual master. One can actually receive Krishna's mercy. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Sagunan Samityaitan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. If one is a pure devotee acting under the directions of the Guru, one easily gets the mercy of the Supreme Lord and thus becomes immediately situated on the transcendental platform. This is explained in the next verse. Yasya Sakshat Bhagavati.
Hare Krishna, Shilpa ji. So the main point in this is that if a person wants to be on the Sattva Gun, if he wants to get, he wants to win over the Raju and the Tamo, right?
And also
Sattva, Raju, Tamo, Sattva, Raju, Tamo, and then he wants to go on the platform Shuddha Sattva, then it is only by serving your Guru.
Yeah.
Right? Lovingly serving your Guru.
Yeah.
With faith and, right?
Yeah.
Shraddha also written there. Okay.
Yeah. Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasado.
So automatically, if you're serving your Guru, like how Prabhupada has brought, then you win over these three gunas.
Yeah.
Right? You come over.
Yeah. Because by pleasing the spiritual master, automatically one is pleasing pleasing Krishna.
I was just like, by reading especially these yesterday and today, that how in our life things were inculcated, in the sense it was so properly woven in a very natural way, but nobody knew that what it is for, why it is for, what benefits we are reaping out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We never knew. Like, yes, we know. Okay, we just know that it will please Krishna, Guru. But then he also helps you to rise from above all these gunas automatically. That is what, like how you say, no, that hum jabi bhi kuch shruti fal. Whenever we are reading something, there's a shruti fal behind that thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the shruti fal.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a result. Even the Guru Vandana says the lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his
Mm.
lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. Even the Guru Vandana is this.
Mm.
That we want to get the grace of Krishna, we need the grace of the spiritual master. So,
Thank you.
okay, thank you. Yasya Sakshat Bhagavate
Yasya
Yes, yes,
sakshat
Sakshat
Bhagavati
Bhagavati.
Jnana Deepa Prade Guru
Yeah.
Jnanadeepa Pradhe Guru
Martya Saddhi Shrutam Tasya
Martya
Madhya
Siddhi Shrutam
Sadhi
Tasya
Sutasya
Sarvam Kunjara Shauchavat
Sarvam
Sarvam
Kunjara
Jara
Shauchavat.
Sochava.
The spiritual master should be considered to be directly the Supreme Lord because he gives transcendental knowledge for enlightenment. Consequently, for one who maintains the material conception that the spiritual master is an ordinary human being, everything is frustrated. His enlightenment and his Vedic studies and knowledge are like the bathing of an elephant. So, this is what Narad Muni is saying. The Supreme Master should be considered directly the Supreme Lord. Doesn't mean that we think that the spiritual master has become God. No, but he is introducing us to God. He is revealing God to us. Yeah. It is recommended that one honor the spiritual master as being on an equal status with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sakshat Dharitvena Samasta Sashtra. We are singing these prayers every morning, actually, This is enjoined in every scripture. Acharya Mam Vijaniyat. One should consider the Acharya to be as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In spite of all these instructions, if one considers the spiritual master an ordinary human being, one is doomed because he's a representative of Krishna. For example, you know, say the diplomat, ambassador, Indian ambassador in Taiwan. He is directly empowered by the government. He's not an ordinary citizen, right? He's directly empowered by the government to act on behalf of the government. So the spiritual master is directly empowered by Krishna. That's why he's called representative, bona fide representative of God. So his study of the Vedas and his austerities and penances for enlightenment are all useless, like the bathing of an elephant. An elephant bathes in a lake quite thoroughly, but as soon as it comes on the shore, it takes some dust from the ground and strews it over its body. Thus, there is no meaning to the elephant's bath. Like, after we start chanting, then we start gossiping, something like that. And that's a very crude example. But, anyways, so, so you have to stop doing those things also, right?
But it's an apt example. Sorry, Shilpaji, but it's a very, very apt example. This is not the fault. This is a very, very true thing.
Yeah,
Because we are just reading with you in the morning, and then the whole day, if we lose our consciousness, like, then yes, and we do that. It is
yeah,
not a, if we do that. But now it is just that after, like before or after we do, then we just, oh, no, what am I doing? So a little part of that thing comes. Before, it wasn't even there. We wouldn't even think that it is just one life. We are in so much rush. What am I speaking? Why am I speaking? There's no need to speak. But only if that little part, so this is very, very true. Very true. Before, I would have not understood the meaning of this hathi bathing, that the elephant bathes and then again when he comes out, he's clean, but then he gets dirty again.
Yeah,
In the sixth canto, it was mentioned there also, atonement after. But now,
exactly. Yeah, you remember Parikshit Maharaj says
yeah,
also in
Parikshit Maharaj,
the
yes,
which canto it is? I forget.
sixth
Second,
canto, end of
sixth is
sixth
it?
canto.
End of
Yeah,
sixth.
when the hell and everything was mentioned. So
Okay.
I think so. Now I think that it is so deep that you know we are one, we are that, and we are totally it.
Yeah.
We are totally it. And
So
the
now we have to
examples that
start getting
Prabhupada,
conscious. Yeah. Sorry,
yeah, that
example. I'm sorry. What's the example?
no, what I'm saying is that these examples are very, very deep. They are not that they're just like given like that. No. If we remember these examples in our life, come, we can cross these troublesome situations very easily,
Yeah.
which are not under our control sometimes.
Yeah. So true. So true.
You're very apt.
Yeah. Good. Good to see that, that there's certain. Very good. Yeah. Okay, an elephant bathes in a lake quite thoroughly, but as soon as it comes on the shore, it takes some dust from the ground and strews it over its body. Thus, there is no meaning to the elephant's bath. One may argue by saying that since the spiritual master's relatives and the men of his neighborhood consider him an ordinary human being, what is the fault on the part of the disciple who considers the spiritual master an ordinary human being? This will be answered in the next verse. But the injunction is that the spiritual master should never be considered an ordinary man. So, of course, the spiritual master's mother, father, brother, sister will treat him as such. But his disciples and everyone else need to regard him as the acharya, one who is an acharya, to the acharya. Like, for example, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's mother or father, they considered him as their son, right? Or his sister considered him as her brother. But for all of us, he's a spiritual master. Actually, Pishima, his sister, was also devoted to him, and she understood the special position of Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, she actually understood. She was also a great Vaishnavi, great devotee. Okay, one should strictly adhere to the instructions of the spiritual master, for if he is pleased, certainly the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado, yasya prasada nagati kutopi. So following the instructions of the spiritual master. What does the spiritual master want? How to please him? He is serving Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya said, my name is going to be chanted in every town and village. So that spiritual master is tirelessly trying to do that, spread the mission of Krishna consciousness. So if we can also help the spiritual master in his mission to spread Krishna consciousness, then we will be able to attract his mercy. We will be able to please him. Yeah, because then we are helping him in his service to his spiritual master, in his service to Lord Chaitanya. Spiritual master is serving his spiritual master. So if we can serve, if we can assist, if we can serve the spiritual master's mission, we can help spread Krishna consciousness, we can attract the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, and thereby attract Krishna's mercy. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, anyone who instructs this knowledge, gives this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, is very dear to me. So if by following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, following his mood as a service to him, if we can do that, then we can attract mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna's mercy. Okay. So of course, not all of us can be preachers, but in the sense assisting the Krishna consciousness movement with whatever talent we may have, any talent that one may have to assist them the Krishna consciousness movement, assist the devotees in their services. So, okay. Esha Vai Bhagavan Sakshat.
Esha Vai Bhagavan Sakshat
Pradhana Purusheshvara.
Pradhana Purusheshvara
Yogeshwarer Vimre Gyan Rir.
Yogeshware
Yogeshware Vimryanki
Vijnani
Loko Yamanyate Naram.
Loko Yamanyate Naram.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is the master of all other living entities and of the material nature. His lotus feet are sought and worshipped by great saintly persons like Vyasa. Nonetheless, there are fools who consider Lord Krishna an ordinary human being. Krishna also says, the foolish deride me when I avajananti mamuda, when I come as in the human-like form. People think I'm an ordinary human being, and that is foolishness. The example of Lord Krishna as being the Supreme Personality of Godhead is appropriate in regard to understanding the spiritual master. The spiritual master is called Sevaka Bhagavan, the servitor personality of Godhead, and Krishna is called Sevya Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is to be worshipped. The spiritual master is the worshipper God, whereas the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the worshipable God. This is the difference between the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna, his mood is that of an enjoyer. Spiritual master, his mood is of a servant. His whole being is, how can I please Krishna? And he teaches everyone how to serve Krishna. Spiritual master is serving Krishna and engaging everyone else in service to Krishna. So this is the difference. Another point, Bhagavad Gita, which constitutes the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is presented by the spiritual master as it is, without deviation. Therefore, the absolute truth is present in the spiritual master, as clearly stated in text 26, Jnana Deepa Prade. The Supreme Personality of Godhead gives real knowledge to the entire world, and the spiritual master, as the representative of the Supreme Godhead, carries the message throughout the world. So, because the spiritual master has the knowledge, he's able to give the knowledge. Just like the ambassador, he has the authority to issue the passport, so he can give us the passport. So whoever has the authority here, the spiritual master has the knowledge. So he's able to give us that knowledge. Therefore, on the absolute platform, there is no difference between the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If someone considers the Supreme Personality, Krishna or Lord Ramachandra, to be an ordinary human being, this does not mean that the Lord becomes an ordinary human being. So yeah, we may think whatever we want to think, but it does not change Krishna's position as the absolute truth. Someone may say, oh, I don't believe Krishna as the absolute truth. It doesn't matter to Krishna, it doesn't change his position as God, as the supreme absolute truth. Somebody may say, I don't have faith that Krishna is the absolute truth. It doesn't change the fact. The fact is the fact that Krishna is the absolute truth. Okay, similarly, if the family members of the spiritual master, who is the bona fide representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, consider the spiritual master an ordinary human being, this does not mean that he becomes an ordinary human being. Just like, for example, the president's mother. The president's mother in the home, she's going to say, hey, you are my son. Doesn't mean he's not the president, right? It's just that their relationship is like that. It's a loving relationship. And the love is more stronger than the designation. So the spiritual master is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore one who is very serious about spiritual advancement must regard the spiritual master in this way, because the spiritual master is in he is an incarnation of the Chaitya Guru, right? Chaitya Guru Paramatma in our heart. He expands in front of us as the spiritual master. Yeah, that's what the scriptures are all telling us. So, okay, even a slight deviation from this understanding can create disaster in the disciples' Vedic studies and austerities. So we have to understand that the authorized spiritual master, he's giving us the perfect knowledge. Because he has the perfect knowledge, he's able to give us the perfect knowledge. He is himself serving Krishna. He's showing us how to serve Krishna. Any comments, questions?
No.
Shadvarga samyamayakanta
Shadvarga Samyam Kanta
sarvanyam chodana
Sarvamniyam Chodanaha
tad anta yadino yogan
Tad Anta Yadino Yoga
avaheyu shamavahaha.
Avaheyuhu Shamavaha.
Ritualistic ceremonies, regulative principles, austerities, and the practice of yoga are all meant to control the senses and mind. But even after one is able to control the senses and mind, if he does not come to the point of meditation upon the Supreme Lord, all such activities are simply labor in frustration. Okay. So everything is there to control the senses and mind, and once mind and senses are controlled, and we have to engage our mind in thinking of Krishna. So here Narad Muni, he is a bona fide spiritual master. He's authorized representative of Krishna. You know, he's our spiritual master. He's coming in the parampara. Doesn't mean that Narad Muni becomes Krishna. No, Krishna is always Krishna. Narad Muni is always Narad Muni. But he's an authorized representative of God. That's why he's worshipped as God. He's given the highest respect because he's teaching us all about God. He's giving us the perfect knowledge. Yeah, because it's dangerous to think, sometimes someone may think that the spiritual master has become God. No, nobody can become God. He's an authorized representative of God. And Narad Muni is our spiritual master, authorized representative. One may argue that one may achieve the ultimate goal of life, realization of the supersoul, by practicing the yoga system and ritualistic performances according to the Vedic principles, even without staunch devotion to the spiritual master. So one may say, I'm just going to do all the rules and regulations, the rituals. I'm just going to do the rituals without actually understanding what the rituals are for. So the actual fact, however, is that by practicing yoga, one must come to the platform of meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even Lord Kapila Dev said that, right? That the yogi who is meditating on the Paramatma in the heart. He was detailed describing the form of the Paramatma. So by reading the scriptures, one has to understand Krishna. Vedascha sarver aham eva vedya, Krishna says. By all the scriptures, I am to be known. So all the rules, regulations, all the scriptures are there to help us to always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Because if we are doing all the rituals, all the practices, but not remembering Krishna, then you're just not understanding what is the use of all these things. Okay. As stated in the scriptures, dhyana avasthita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yogina. A person in meditation achieves the perfection of yoga practice when he can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By various practices, one may come to the point of controlling the senses. But simply controlling the senses does not bring one to a substantial conclusion. However, by staunch faith in the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one not only controls the senses, but also realizes the Supreme Lord. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite kathita hi artha prakashante mahatmana. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are all the imports of the Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.23. So the Shvetashvatara Upanishad is saying we need to have implicit faith, equal faith in both the spiritual master and Krishna. Because we can see Krishna, he's speaking Bhagavad Gita. What is the spiritual master speaking? He is also speaking to us what Krishna has spoken in Bhagavad Gita. He's explaining the Bhagavad Gita to us. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, I am God, I am the source. Everything is coming from me. And what is spiritual master saying? He's saying the same thing. He's saying, Krishna is God, everything is coming from Krishna. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, surrender to me, sarva dharmam parityagya. What is spiritual master saying? Surrender unto Krishna, right? So we see that spiritual master is explaining to us what Krishna is saying. It is further stated, Toshiye yam sarva bhutatma guru shushrushaya antaranti agyo bhavar navam. Simply by rendering service to the spiritual master, one crosses the ocean of nations and returns home back to Godhead. So this is the secret. Thus, he gradually sees the Supreme Lord face to face and enjoys life in association with the Lord. The Lord himself says, right, one who is directly my devotee is not my devotee, but one who is a devotee of my devotee is my devotee. That's why Lord Chaitanya also says, Gopi Bharatur Padakamalayur Das Dasanu Dasanu Das, being a servant of the servant of the servant, the maintainer of the gopis. That is our position. So thus he gradually sees the Supreme Lord face to face and enjoys life in association with the Lord. The ultimate goal of yoga is to come in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To link to the Supreme, right? Means to see God. To see him face to face means to go back home, back to Godhead. How to do that? Serve the spiritual master. Yasya prasada, Bhagavad prasada. Unless this point is achieved, one so-called yoga practice is simply labor without any benefit. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
So when we are serving our spiritual master, does it mean like we are serving Krishna? Can we have that vow?
Yes,
Right?
yes, of course. Of course, yeah. When we are serving the instructions of the the service to spiritual masters in two ways. One is serving Vapu, his physical body, and two, Vani, instructions. Vapu sometimes may be possible, may not be possible, but Vani we can always serve. Always we can serve the instructions of the spiritual master, and in this way we are serving Krishna. Yes.
What is Vapu?
Vapu
I
means
didn't get it.
the body, the physical body.
Oh, okay.
And Vani is his instruction. So Vapu may or may not be possible to serve,
Right.
but Vani always possible to serve the instructions of the spiritual master. Okay. Stop here for today.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but provided the spiritual master is a bona fide, like because you said, is it serving spiritual master is equal to serving Krishna, but then has to be a bona fide representative because somebody may, you know, be like
True,
a
true.
so bona fide spiritual master. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna.